thank you for all the work that you've done in the Virgin Galactic space, because a lot of people have given up on Virgin Galactic, and you're one of the few loud voices that are still here. So it's very admirable. So thank you for having me.
We have Ayman Muffler. Here he is. How are you, man?
I'm doing perfect. It's hopefully this is a good show for all of us, and I have some good answers for y'all. But thank you for having me. I just want to, tell you thank you for all the work that you've done in the Virgin Galactic space, because a lot of people have given up on Virgin Galactic, and you're one of the few loud voices that are still here. So it's very admirable. So thank you for having me.
Well, that's very kind of you, Ayman. I do appreciate that. And I think that's important, isn't it? When you invest in a stock, you're not in it just to sell YouTube videos. We all know one very well-known one in your area of the world. I'm talking about the Wolf of Dubai, who came in at top of the market. Everything's going to be great. Everyone's going to get rich, giving all this information, selling courses, blah, blah, blah. And of course, then when it went down, you never heard from him ever again. And I came in at the top of the market, took all the losses, and I've made a pledge. I will never stop streaming, and I'm live up to 10 hours a day and have been for 2.5 years, and I ain't going anywhere. So it's important to remain with your viewers who have followed you. So thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. You're into Virgin Galactic. Tell me, first of all, before I talk to you about Virgin Galactic, I want to congratulate you on the success you've had with your YouTube channel. I've given everybody the link in the chat, and I hope everyone goes and subscribes to you. You're approaching that magic number when you'll get your plaque, your 100,000 plaque, which I'm excited about getting one day. Congratulations on your channel, by the way.
Thank you. It's been a long road. Obviously, cryptocurrency is just in its infancy, so it's just a beginning, just like it is for Virgin Galactic. Hopefully, you also hit the 100,000 subscriber mark. I know that's something that you've been wanting to reach, so you will pretty soon. Once Virgin Galactic goes to space, you'll get a lot more subscribers.
I certainly hope so. It's something I'm trying to do. So congratulations. Also, congratulations on you. I believe you have a book on Amazon. I've also given everyone the link to your cryptocurrency book. We're also into cryptocurrency here on this channel. Sensei Crypto is in the chat, who takes care of all of our crypto. We do what we call the Crypto Challenge. I haven't got time to study and spend time on every individual currency. I'm live producing videos on my music channel 10 hours a day. So Sensei does it all for me. He'll choose which is the best crypto, and I follow him, and my team and my viewers do the same thing. Of course, they should always do their own due diligence, but we have that. You're into crypto, and we'll talk about XRP at the end of the Virgin Galactic conversation. But just tell me very quickly, I know that you do have a book on Amazon. Congratulations. And just what's the book about, just so anyone can get an idea before they go and buy it?
It's literally, as the name suggests, is the Cryptomandment. So as I was thinking of a name, it's obviously about cryptocurrency, but I wanted something to stick out, and like the 10 commandments. So crypto commandment, Cryptomandment. That was kind of the idea behind it.
Good.
And it's just literally everything that I've learned over the years, just through my experience in investing, and how it's changed my life. And the idea is I wanted to make it as a guide so people can take it anywhere, and it's easy to read. So it's 10 commandments to hopefully help all people, beginners or experts, learn more about cryptocurrency.
Fantastic. Well, I'd love to talk to you about that at the end. But of course, right now we're talking about Virgin Galactic. So I'm just going to show the viewers where Virgin Galactic, stay right where you are, Ayman. We're looking at Virgin Galactic, and we can all see where it is today and where it's been. You never look back, but it doesn't look pretty at all. And as you know, Ayman, Virgin Galactic has had quite a journey. Personally, I've worked for Sir Richard Branson. I've worked on his experiences, and the reason why I bought Virgin Galactic, even though financially it's very risky, Makes no sense today. I can earn more money just holding my cash on uninvested cash in Robinhood and earning 4.9% without doing anything, with no risk or fear of losing money. And its path to profitability is also hard to see right now, at least the short term. But I bought it because not because of Richard Branson, because he's not so much into the marketing as he used to be. The brand isn't what it used to be, in my opinion. He's getting older. He's not the face of it anymore. But for me, where Virgin Galactic will make money is the experiences of all the families that will come and stay at the hotels, do all the experiences. Hence, Michael Cole-Glazier, the CEO from Disney. There'll be all these experiences, and as they build other spaceports around the world, I think it'll become profitable, but it's not going to be there for many, many years. I've said it can trade to $100. I believe that was possible, not because it's worth it, because people get on the hype train and take it up. But why have you invested? I mean, you may not even be, I don't know, you may not even be in Virgin Galactic. I share my shares on the screen. Everyone knows every penny I have. Do you have, are you invested, or would you rather not say? I mean, that's up to you.
I'm definitely invested. That's why I'm here, and I try not to speak about cryptocurrencies or investments on my channel that I do not own. A lot of people tell me to cover stuff that I don't own, and I think it's just not worth my time. So yes, I definitely own Virgin Galactic.
I commend you for that, because many don't. They talk about it and they don't.
It is high risk and potentially high reward. The reason why I don't show my holdings is honestly because to some people it might be a lot. And it might be something crazy to them, but then to other people, it might be nothing. So I don't want people to compare themselves to me. I respect that you do it. I know every YouTuber kind of has different ways of doing it, but for me, I just chose not to share exactly how much I own. Also, maybe because of security / like privacy reasons. But yeah, that's the reason.
I blew that years ago when I started my career as a musician. As I worked with Elton John, I've toured all over the world. People said to me, "Don't give out your phone number." Everyone in the world has my personal phone number. Honestly, it's everything about me is everywhere. Everyone knows the Phantom of the Opera, the Elton John, everything. So that's why, and that's just my stick, and it's not everybody's idea. My wife is the opposite to me. She wouldn't tell you her name, let alone how many shares she's got in Virgin Galactic. So I respect that. That's that thing. There's no problem with that at all. So why did you start buying Virgin Galactic? What drew you to invest in it?
So that's a good question. The first time I ever learned about Virgin Galactic was, I believe, January 2021 or December 2020. I don't remember exactly, January 2020 or December 2019. So before COVID happened. At that time, Virgin Galactic was at like $7, $8. I never invested. I waited till it was like at around $15, $20.
We all did that, right? I bought it at 35 at once.
Yeah. So I bought it at 20. I rode it all the way up to about $35. I was taking leverage because I was a brand new investor at that point. It was like 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago. I was taking too much margin, too much leverage. And when it started crashing because of the COVID crash in March of 2020, I got a phone call from Charles Schwab telling me that I had to sell everything because basically I was negative. And that was the first time I ever learned about Virgin Galactic. I learned how volatile it can be, but also how potentially life-changing it can be as well. And then it went up to $60. I never invested again because I got liquidated. I was kind of salty, I was kind of hurt that I got liquidated. I lost a lot of money. But I told myself at $60, seeing it at that like all-time high, I told myself if it ever goes down below $5, $10, I'm going to be buying. And I actually made a YouTube video about 3 years ago on my channel when it was at $55. I think the day before Richard Branson went to space. I told everyone this could literally be sell the news type of event. And back to Wolf of Dubai, I was watching a lot of his videos. So he was the opposite. He was saying how after this flight, we're just going to keep going up and up and up. And that was before I even started my YouTube channel. So I didn't know how YouTubers think. And YouTubers get a lot more views when they say things are going to go up and that everything's going to be fine and to the moon and buy now, that gets a lot more views and a lot more likes. So in hindsight, after I started my YouTube channel and grew it a little bit, I kind of understood why he was saying what he was saying, but it got a lot of people wrecked. Instead of just telling us the truth that this could go down and stuff like that, he just kept saying that it was going to go up and up and up. But anyways, I have to take responsibility for my actions, right? I can't listen to other YouTubers. I can't put the blame on them. So it was at $60, $55. I made a YouTube video. That was literally the first few months that I created my YouTube channel. It was like at $60. Then right after the flight, Richard Branson went to space, the stock crashed. And since then, I was telling myself, even my family, I remember telling my wife even, I'm married by the way, but I remember telling my wife,
too.
Thank you. I remember telling her, just because I loved Virgin Galactic, but I was like, if it ever goes down below $10, I will be buying. And then 2 years later, a year and a half, I think it's been 2 years since all-time high, a little bit more than 2 years. We now find ourselves at $2.50, and a lot of people gave up. A lot of people were bullish back when it was at all-time highs, but now it seems like everyone's kind of given up. But all of us here, all of you watching right now on Martyn Lucas's channel, I think we are here for a reason, and we can make a lot of money. And as long as we stay the course and we're patient, we will definitely get rewarded very soon. Now, it could take 6 months, it could take a year, but it's definitely coming, and I believe we can break all-time highs very easily.
I appreciate, because I've had the similar story that you shared with us all, that you got liquidated. I came into the market about the same time as you. I did invest years ago in England with Barclays Bank and had some success, but with all the fees that I used to pay back in those days, never made any money, because every time I made some money, I had to pay fees, and I just, you couldn't scalp or day trade like you can today because of all the fees. So I started again with this channel, and I too lost a lot of money. In fact, I'm down $38,000. Everyone had seen me on the show. They saw me lose money, and I also was in margin. And you learn nothing from success. You learn from failure, right? You learn what it feels like to lose. I didn't actually get liquidated. For me, as I was approaching margin, I could see I was sat on that line, and because I'm live 10 hours a day, nothing's going to surprise. I'm not going to get an email from Robert Hood saying, "Hey, your margin called," because I'm on it every second, right? I'm online, I'm live, so I could see it, and I just kept coming in and out trying to save it. And in the end, what happened was, December, I got ill with COVID quite seriously, because I have asthma, and I could have, got seriously ill. I was seriously ill, and it occurred to me, what if I died? What if I died? My wife wouldn't have a clue about my portfolio. She wouldn't know how this works, the stress of it. So I decided, margin, not for me. If I can't make money out of my own money, what business do I have borrowing somebody else's money? If I can make money, I should be able to grow my own money from my own money. I've got enough money now. I've got nearly 56 grand here. If you can't make money from that, why do I need to borrow any more? So I know what it feels like to get margined, and Virgin Galactic has been one of those stocks. And so now you've been buying back down again, and you've gone through margin. Now, what's your thoughts for the rest of the year? Knowing what we already know with the earnings, we know how they're burning through cash. We know how much time they've got before they go to zero. We know that interest rates, in my opinion, are going to be paused. Are they going to go up? That would be a big pressure on Virgin Galactic. We know they've sold the tickets. How do you feel, knowing all of what we know is likely to happen this year, and where do you see profitability, if at all, in the next few years? So now we're going to go over to a chart information here from Ayman. Give me the information. What have you got for me?
Yes. So basically, this is kind of to answer your question, because you asked, where do I see Virgin Galactic going in the next few years, next year even. A lot of people's main concern with Virgin Galactic is the fact that it's losing a lot of money, right? People think that it's going to go to zero or go bankrupt because it's burning through a lot of cash. And that is true. That is true. But also we need to remember that every great company at some point or another is burning through a lot of cash. So what you guys are seeing on the screen right now is a chart of Tesla's all-time yearly net profit or loss statement. So as you can tell from 2009, this first bar is 2009, the second bar is 2010, 2011, and so on and so forth. So for about 10 years, everyone, 10 years, Tesla was literally losing money. And at one point, they lost $2.2 billion, over $2 billion, and people were still buying the stock. And now, looking back, would you rather buy Tesla right here when they start making money? Or would you have rather bought Tesla back here when it was losing money? Obviously, I think all of us would have rather bought Tesla when it was losing money, because since then it's done a 20, 30x, 15x in price even, right? So a lot of people that are worried about Virgin Galactic losing money, yes, that is always a risk with any company. Any company in the world might go to zero, but you need to also look at how unique is the company. So Tesla was unique in that it was the first EV company to really go mainstream. And I believe Virgin Galactic is unique also in that it's the first company to open up space for everyone. So this is a website of Virgin Galactic. You guys all have seen it, you ladies and gentlemen, all of you now watching this. Other company.
We've looked at it once or twice, yeah.
Yeah. So there's literally no other company that's doing what Virgin Galactic is doing. So yes, there is a lot of risk right now, but again, comparing it to Tesla, there is potentially a lot of reward as well. So I think this is a hype stock in many ways. Like you said yourself, it can go to $100. And if we take a look at the chart of Tesla or chart of SPCE, Virgin Galactic, it is all-time high basically twice right here before we even started sending people regularly up to space, before we had the news about the hypersonic flights potentially coming in the next few years, before the news of other spaceports around the world. So now I believe today, as I'm speaking, as all of you are watching, even though the price of Virgin Galactic is all the way down here at $2, I believe that the fundamentals are better than ever. And it's, again, comparing it to Tesla, just because we are losing money and so was Tesla, doesn't mean that it's a bad stock. A lot of people invest off of emotions, and eventually when the Federal Reserve starts printing more and more money, and it's only a matter of time until they do, this Virgin Galactic is literally going to go to space, and the stock is also going to go to space as well. So it's just a matter of time. You guys, we need to be patient and take advantage of these lower prices. I believe right now is a perfect opportunity.
What I do want to add to that, and you're absolutely right, that information is good and real, and I think most of us agree with that sentiment. However, back in 2020, certainly in the United States, I can't talk for you're in Dubai, right?
Yes, my family is actually in Texas, so right next to you.
Really? I'm in Dallas myself.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, good old Texas.
Yeah, nice to find that out. Fantastic. Back in 2020, of course, in the United States with COVID, as everybody had, we had a lot of stimulus checks. People were sat at home signing up for Robinhood. They were bored. They had excess money, and everyone's buying everything. That's why Tesla went up over, and it just kept going. And even Elon Musk said, "Stop buying my stock. It's not worth what you're paying for it." It made no sense. It doesn't matter how good something is. If I like to use a couple of examples. If a can of Coke is $1, and you know the value of Coke, how it refreshes you, how it makes you feel, whatever. And today I'm saying Coca-Cola is 50 cents. You'd buy some Coke because you're going to drink it anyway, and it makes sense. If I said to you, it's worth $10, you say, I'm not paying $10. It's not worth $10. It doesn't serve me $10 worth of service, right? However, if I said in 10 years' time, there's going to be only one can of Coke in the whole world, and everyone's going to be dying for that one can of Coke to drink, you'd bear that in mind, right? You think, okay, it's the only can of Coke left. Maybe it's worth $10. Maybe worth more now. My concern is, and you're absolutely right, looking at that chart and comparing it to Tesla, it's just a very similar thing, is the fact that it went up so dramatically, not because it can do it again, it's because A lot of people got overexcited with nothing else to do and more money than sense at the time. And it was the only real space company we could buy. Let's be honest, unless you're a private investor, you can't go to SpaceX. You can buy ancillary companies that provide SpaceX. And I actually know one of my followers on my X account and Instagram actually has an investment in SpaceX. The private investors do, and some of them follow me. Blue Origin again is not an alternative. Plumping down in a desert on a parachute is not first class. A lot of people described it like that. I'm not paying millions of dollars to plump down on a desert, even though I'm sure it's very soft and it's very nice. If you're a 5-star customer, you want to go to the spaceport, drink your champagne, sit on the plane, take off, do your thing in space, come back down, walk into the hangar, have a glass of champagne, meet the family. That's what you want. And it's a lot more cost effective, a lot more affordable. So I agree with you. All of that makes Virgin Galactic unique and pioneering and no competition at the moment, at least anyway. But I'm concerned, and I was very concerned when Wolf of Dubai kept saying it's going to go up and up and up and up, because that's getting on the GameStop in anything like that.
Yeah.
People were buying Bed Bath and Beyond, a bankrupt company, just for the sake of it. So I am concerned it could, and I've tried to be as honest as possible. It can run out of money before it gets there and go bust. Just like Tesla could have done, and Tesla nearly did several times, right?
Yeah, but Tesla also, every time they came out with a new product, they proved themselves a little bit. They were able to raise new shares. Maybe sometimes it did have a negative impact on the stock price and it did go down. But I remember before Tesla really started taking off, I believe also in early 2020, it was crazy because they offered new shares, and instead of the stock price going down, the stock price actually went up by 10% that day. And I remember it just like yesterday, because I was also an investor in Tesla, and it was very counterintuitive. So they proved themselves to a point where they gained the loyalty and the hearts of people all around the world. And instead of offering new shares and the stock price tumbling, they offered new shares and the stock price actually went up. So the same thing with Virgin Galactic. The more that they prove themselves, the more big names, eventually, hopefully, we're all waiting for a celebrity, for a big name, a politician to go up to space. And I think it's really only a matter of time. Once they start doing that, they will be able to issue new shares and people will buy it. And that's just how the world works. Now, if they are doing nothing and they're sitting on their butts and not achieving anything, and they keep trying to raise new shares, and yes, they're going to go bankrupt because no one's going to buy those shares. They're not going to be able to raise money. But as long as Virgin Galactic keeps achieving their milestones and keeps shocking the world, because again, they are unique, I believe they should have no trouble raising new funds.
There's always the fear, though, isn't there? I was in conversation with Matthew Brown. Matthew Brown was trying to buy Virgin Orbit when Virgin Orbit was going down the toilet, and we had conversations on the phone. And Matthew Brown is the one who owns SpaceX. And Richard Branson stopped it at the end from going through because he wanted to make sure he got his assets out when it went into Chapter 11. So it's a very brutal business. It is a big risk for small retail investors like us. We got asked this morning in the chat, someone said, why is Richard Branson and Chamath out of Virgin Galactic? Because they're business people and they knew it'd pop up and they knew it'd go down and they took profits. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Richard Branson, he actually still owns about 11% of the company through his Virgin Galactic Holdings company.
Much less than he originally had, though, right?
Yeah, much less, but still, Elon Musk only owns 15% of Tesla,
True.
you could argue.
True.
So we have BlackRock, we have State Street, we have Vanguard that also own 6-7% each of Virgin Galactic. So as the pie grows, more and more people want a piece of the pie, and obviously Richard Branson has to give up a portion of the pie. And if you think about it, this is his last baby. Like, yeah, he has, a few weeks ago, I went to the Dubai Mall here and they have the Virgin Mega Store. And I went there and I try to support Richard Branson by buying something from there.
I like it.
if you really think about it, this is his last baby. Like Virgin Orbit,
True.
yes, went bankrupt, but this is the thing that I believe will keep his legacy alive. So if I was in his shoes also, and I thought there was more potential with Virgin Galactic, honestly, I hate saying this, but I would have also let Virgin Orbit die. I would have let it die, made sure that my Virgin Galactic baby actually grows to see the light of day in the next few years and to change the world. And that's just like you said, they're businessmen at the end of the day, and every investment has its risk.
Do we know how much Richard Branson is paid for his shares? I guess we got no idea.
No, I mean, technically, like, shares are kind of created out of thin air. They just issue a new prospectus and they can issue new shares. So the cost of that is very minimal. It's just the legal fees and stuff. But he did invest a lot of money in Virgin Galactic. I think they've been working on this since 2004. Correct me if I'm wrong. But for a very long time, he's been putting his own money with that Burton guy. The Burton, I think that he patented the technology for the spaceship while it's hanging in the air. They put a lot of money into it, and I think still this is his last opportunity at leaving a legacy, and I think he will do his very best to make sure that this is successful.
Fantastic. I've got a couple of questions here. It's nice to see that my viewers have clicked on your YouTube channel and subscribed to you. Fantastic. So I look forward to seeing you at 100,000 subscribers and getting your silver plaque. I would love to see that happen for you. That'd be brilliant. Zach in Uganda has just said I've just subscribed to your channel, which is wonderful. Thank you, Zach. I've got a question here, and this comes up a lot because as you may or may not know, you can see from behind me, I built my studio to look like the Virgin Galactic Space Studio. Look at it. It's all the colors. We've got all the moving heads, the lights, and so on and so forth. And I put my name in the hat, and I said that I wanted to do the marketing for Virgin Galactic, right? I felt I could do a better job because I thought Virgin Orbit was absolutely terrible. That back shed stuff, you couldn't have done it worse, like on iPhones and so on. And some people have said the same thing about Virgin Galactic. It's not NASA, it's not Tesla, it doesn't look sexy and rock and roll, and it's getting better, but it still looks a bit toy town. What's your thoughts on that? Does it matter?
Well, it's not as good as it was in 2020. That's for sure. I think back then they had, again, Chamath, the SPAC king, or the SPAC crook, whatever you want to call him. But he was doing a lot of marketing for Virgin Galactic. Now, though, I think CNBC, I think Fox Business, I think all these big social media accounts and big outlets, they do the marketing for Virgin Galactic. Like a few weeks ago when we had the guy, may he live very long, the guy with Parkinson's, and then the two ladies from Antigua and Barbuda, when they went to space, honestly, like, no one has ever heard of them before, but still, you would go on CNBC, on YouTube, and social media, and see videos with millions of views, right?
Much better.
Virgin Galactic wasn't the company that put that out. The CNBC did. Other social media companies or other business companies, they put out those articles, they put out those videos, and those videos still got millions of views for people that don't even, like, no one knows who they are. So again, imagine when big names go up to space. I think the marketing will speak for itself. Sometimes the best marketing is the marketing that you don't even have to spend money on, where people just speak about it because it's that good and that revolutionary. So maybe that's the goal with Virgin Galactic. They just want to make sure that the technology is good, that it's safe, and they can go up to space and back and forth safely, and they can do it routinely, and then people will just speak about it.
We had more people watch the live event, the first flight, on my channel than any other channel in the world. What I mean by that, and some of you people are going to go, hang on a minute, you didn't get more views than CNN, you didn't get more views than Sky. During the live event, the flight itself, we had 23,000 people watch me live with the flight. After over the next 24 hours, more people watched other news channels, and the numbers went far higher. But during the actual live event, more people watched here than any other channel. anywhere, TV stations, and they all had a little piece each. I was amazed. I mean, we for a long time we ranked number one on the search term for SPCE stock, Virgin Galactic. But you come in and out of that search. One day you're number one, now you're number three, then you're back at number one again. And it's incredible though to think that a small channel like mine. At the time, I was 8,000 subscribers. Now we're just over 10 and a half. We're growing, quite quickly. But it was incredible that I was able to get that many people watch because we're passionate and excited about it. And a lot of people here feel that Virgin Galactic aren't as excited about what they're doing as we are, and perhaps should be. And people say, "Oh, get Richard Branson out," but it doesn't really make a difference. I don't think institutions really care if Richard Branson's hopping around, waving flags or anything. I don't think they really care.
No, they don't care. They care about, again, the safety, about making money, about just making sure that the business model is actually proven. And yeah, they really don't care if Richard Branson's out there. And I mean, still, I think his time will come. Like, a lot of people are speculating that Elon Musk is going to go to space eventually, and I still think he will go on a Virgin Galactic space flight. But if I was in Elon Musk's shoes too, I would want to see at least 10, 20 flights up to space before I would go up to space too. Especially,
that's what my wife says, because I want to fly with them, and she says you're not going anywhere near it.
Yeah, until other people risk that first, and then you're like, okay, now it's safe, and then I can go. But imagine when that time happens, you're going to be paying $50, $60, $100 a share for Virgin Galactic. So again, now is, yes, more risky, but the potential reward is much higher.
Wade Van Eysen has asked a question. I've only just started small with SPCE. What do you see as a good buy price?
So
I know it's difficult.
I was buying at $20, $25, $30. I thought that was a good price like 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. I thought that was a very good price. And then some people were buying at $60 thinking it was a good price. Now it's at $2.50, and I believe this is the best price we've ever had. Obviously, like if you take a look at the chart, we are basically at an all-time low. So I could argue that this is literally the best price to buy at. Now we could go lower to $1.50, $2.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that to scare you guys and ladies, but that is a possibility. And you just have to keep in mind that, I'm sure, Martyn, you always preach to have some cash on the side, so that way when it does go down, you can buy more. But you could literally argue that right now has been and is the best time to buy. We could go down lower, and then that will be the best time to buy also. So it's always a good time to buy, I think.
Keaton S has asked, what's a man's thoughts on Virgin Orbit? Was he an investor in them as well?
I was not, no. I thought that there was not really nothing that really stood Virgin Orbit out, like from competitors. Like, yeah, they were sending rockets up to space or satellites up to space. I don't even know what they were trying to do, honestly. But no, I was not an investor. From the very first day, just something about Virgin Galactic stuck out to me. And this reminds me, actually, like I was in Kuwait a few months ago, and me and my family, my younger sister and brothers, we went to a museum. And this was when Virgin Galactic was still at $10, I believe, during the end of last year. And in a random museum in Kuwait, in a country like, probably you've been to Kuwait, Martyn, because you said that you've been to 195 countries, but most people have never been to Kuwait. But in that museum, they literally had, and I have a picture of it, I can pull it up in just a second. They had a Virgin Galactic spaceship there. And I took a picture underneath it, and
I noticed that we do have a lot of viewers in that part of the world, and I was quite surprised. I thought it would be predominantly America, but it's not. We actually have a lot of people in your part of the world actually interested in Virgin Galactic.
Yeah, I'm not sure if y'all can see it, but this is literally my family, a Virgin Galactic spaceship. We literally took a picture right below it.
Fantastic. Yeah, look at that.
Let me see, right? This is another picture of underneath it. In Kuwait, like in a random country, a very small country with less than 10 million people, they have a Virgin Galactic spaceship there. So like from the very beginning, something about Virgin Galactic just stood out. The idea of sending people to space. They're not just sending items, because items can go to space, blow up, and no one really cares. Yeah, you lose some money.
Let's hope not.
with lives is much different. Like if a person goes up and worst case scenario they pass away because something goes wrong, that's a much riskier endeavor. And again, with more risk comes more reward, and they're just doing something that no other company is
No.
doing. So yeah, from the very beginning, I liked Virgin Galactic way more than Virgin Orbit.
Yeah, it's definitely a global brand. I'm just showing you the flags across my screen now. We have 39 countries, and 90% of our viewers are for Virgin Galactic, and they've joined as members from all these countries, 39 countries around the world, and predominantly. It's Virgin Galactic that people are following my channel for, which is pretty incredible that it is such a global audience on this particular stock. I've got a question here. I will come on to the Sensei question for XRP just in a moment, because I did ask a man at the beginning, could I talk about XRP? And he said yes. So what we'll do, we'll just ask this final round of questions, and then I'll move into the XRP if you've still got time. That would be nice. I've got 5 questions I like to ask my guests when they come onto the show, and I tweak them each time someone comes on. So if you had $1,000, what company would you invest in right now?
That's a good question. Crypto or stocks?
Any investment you like. $1,000. What are you going to buy right now?
I would either buy Virgin Galactic SPCE, or there is a cryptocurrency called Space Chain SPC. Ironically enough, those are my 2 biggest holdings.
Okay, that's
both
interesting.
on space technologies, yeah.
Right. Okay. If you could be the CEO of any company, which would it be?
I would be the CEO. That's a good question too. I didn't prepare for all this.
That's the point. That's the point. I don't tell anybody.
Yeah. I guess there's also another cryptocurrency called Singularity Net. I would want to be the CEO of Virgin Galactic, but I think that Michael Colglazer is in a much better position to lead Virgin Galactic than I am. So there is a cryptocurrency called Singularity Net, and they're just focused on humanoid robots and AI and stuff like that. And I would love to be the CEO of that company.
Obviously, as you're in cryptocurrency, you could have your own cryptocurrency. I was looking at it. All my members want to buy the Luca, LUCA. We want to come up with one. I looked at it the other day and I thought, bloody hell, it's supposed to be simple, but this looked pretty complicated to me. So maybe I need to get you or Sensei Crypto to set it up for me. But all my members want to buy a Luca crypto and have some fun with that. Okay. What's the best YouTube channel in the world, and why?
I would, I guess Martyn Lucas.
There you go. You see, there it is. I mean, I was wondering when you were going to crack onto that. I mean, that took you a while, but I'll give you that. Have you ever had?
It's a build-up. I had to let the audience.
You had to just wait for a minute. Yeah, I mean, you were going to go for Mr. Beast, but you thought, Martyn Lucas. Have you ever had FOMO?
Yes. I actually probably had FOMO today, just before I got on the show. Like every day I kind of have FOMO. You just have to catch yourself, just kind of balance out how much you have in cash versus how much you have actually invested. And just make sure that, again, like you said, you don't have to be in a situation where you have to take too much leverage or leverage at all. And just making sure you always have cash on the side, because a lot of people try to go in all in and then they get wrecked. Because imagine if you went all in on Virgin Galactic at all-time highs thinking it was going to go to $100, but then just start crashing. And that's what a lot of people did in cryptocurrency. They went all in at the end of 2021, and then 2022 we just kept crashing. And then those people sold, they gave up, they hate cryptocurrency. So that's a very dangerous thing, to have FOMO and to go all in. But yeah, I have FOMO every day, really. I just have to catch myself and think twice before I go all in.
And here's the last question for you. What do you think is the most important personality traits of a trader or investor? What's the most important personality trait you need?
Emotional intelligence. I think a lot of people get wrecked when prices go down and they get scared instead of buying and knowing why they're invested in the first place. Their emotions are just all over the place. And then the same thing goes when we're at all-time highs. People get too greedy and they start going all in. They get wrecked that way as well. So just having emotional intelligence, and because like as you're about to make a trade, right? Like there's no one behind your shoulder telling you, hey, Joe or Bob or Smith, whatever your name is, maybe this is not a good idea. You have to think literally in third person, what are you doing in the moment? And that takes a lot of awareness, emotional intelligence. So I think that's the most important thing, is emotional intelligence.
So there we go. Great guest today. I hope everyone has clicked on Ayman's YouTube channel. The link is in the chat. Make sure that you have. If any of Ayman's audience is watching right now and you'd like to be in our free cash prize giveaway, $204 we're giving away on Friday. You don't need to be present to win. We will email you. Look below the video. It's martynlucas.com and go to the giveaway. If you sign up for the newsletter as well, you'll get extra 100 tickets to win on Friday. It's free to enter. It's free for all. I'll never sell you anything. I'll never contact you or try to get you to buy anything whatsoever. The only reason why I'll contact you is because you've won and we want to work out how to send you your winnings. So there we go. If you are interested in Virgin Galactic or you're interested in more information from Ayman, go and check out his channel. So if you want more information from Ayman or anything else that we can help you with, click over here. Above my head will be all the links for us for our X account, and we'll put some information on there today. And we'll tag a man in there, and you can go and communicate with us. If you look over here, you'll see how to enter our $204 cash giveaway, and down here you'll see other videos on Virgin Galactic. Down here, I think I'll put the flight. We're going to be live for the flight on Friday. Join us for that. As always, take care of yourselves and each other.